dealing with actors, when you're doing a production, and let's say you're doing a drama or you're doing like, a horror movie that has a dramatic scene in it, you're going to have to direct these actors. And, a lot of these actors are from theater backgrounds, especially local actors that you get, that's the only thing they've acted in, or plays. And that's a little bit different than when you're videotaping a scene because, actors project, they're in a theater and watched by hundreds of people, so they're a little bit louder, they're gesturing, they're just a little bit heightened, the reactions and stuff. So when you're shooting like a dramatic scene or it's supposed to be quiet, I always find that I'm, telling them to do it lower, to quiet down, not to have as much expression. They have to kind of tone down everything because the camera picks up, everything that they do, especially if it's like a close-up, you see everything on the actor, and they don't need to act, as big, as it were. So you're always kind of, toning actors down, I find, especially if they're from a theater background. And then, some actors, they have different methods of working, like some, are like, classical actors and, they'll act a scene and, let's say they're a serial killer or a monster or something, and, they'll be into that scene, they'll do a really good job, then the camera's off and they're, boom, right back to how they normally are. Well, I've had actors that are, method actors, and they stay in their character the entire time. So if you have like a character who's like, really, bitchy woman character, vampire or something, or somebody who's really unpleasant as a character, well, I've had these actors maintain that same persona even when they weren't shooting, and if you're not used to that, it's like really, really strange, So, you feel like you're kind of tiptoeing around them and stuff. So that's kind of an experience when you get those actors. It's kind of funny. And those guys really, tend to do a really good job too. So, it's kind of good with the bad with that. Another thing with actors is they'll always come up with ideas. They're like, oh, why don't we do this scene better? We could do it this way. I interpret it, we should do it like this. And sometimes, just to humor them, I'll do a scene, I'll do a take like that because it kind of shuts them up and they're happy. And you want everybody happy on the shoot, So, tape is cheap and just shoot a scene how they want. But sometimes, I would just get tired of that and they'd have a suggestion and, I'd turn to them and say, oh, that's like a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. But that's a different movie. And then I'd totally shut them up and they'd, not bug me anymore. But, just when you're dealing with the actors and you're dealing with the crew, if anybody has a question and you're the producer and you're the director, you always have to have an answer. Even if you don't really know, you're the one who everybody comes to for answers. So you have to have an answer to everything. You've got to know everything that's happening with your production because you're the one who is holding it all together. You're like the focal point of it. So with actors and crew, just be the one who has all the answers.